You're watching Footy Fantasy. It is your steady thing, go meet your football needs. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go see. It's Footy Fantasy. You're watching Footy Fantasy. Footy Fantasy. It is your steady thing, go meet your football needs. Your football needs. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. Sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go see. Your eyes go see. It's Footy Fantasy. Footy Fantasy.
Hello, guys. My name is EJ, and welcome to Footy Fantasy Podcast for the week. I'm glad to welcome our guests. We'll start with Don Rajan. Raji, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Champions of Carabao.
Carabao Cup champions. At least we won something in the first 70 years.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to say this. Everybody's always saying that Newcastle won something in 70 years, but in reality, we won something in the championship. Me, I count that trophy.
Of course.
You can only win what is in front of you.
Okay,
so
exactly.
All right.
And Idris, welcome to the show again.
Always.
Happy fan extraordinaire. And yeah, it's going to be. I already have comments, so we'll get to those. But before I do, let's talk about where you can find us on social media. Follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube at Footy Fantasy. Follow us on Twitter, Footy@Fantasy, and on Instagram. And then we'd like to shout out our theme music from SJ Music. We love it. And we'll jump right in. Start with Newcastle versus Manchester United. I watched that game. I watched most of the game. It was a complete thumping, which I enjoyed watching. So, Raji, I'll let you just tell me what you thought about that.
I mean, when you're a top club, you have to be able to deal with mid-table mediocrity. You got to be able to take it out of the park and deal with, all the nonsense that they're trying to push your way. I mean, at least they gave us a fight at the very beginning. For 10 minutes, Manchester United played well, and they got their goal. But then for 80 minutes, they were nonsense, and it's predictable. That's why they're all the way down in 14th, scrambling to try to save their season by winning the UEFA Cup, whatever they're playing in. But it's all good. We're in a good place. I really don't know how much more to add. There are clubs like Manchester United. There are clubs like Arsenal that are easy for us to deal with these days. We're gunning for second, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Idris, do you have something to say before I say anything else? And then
no, you can't kick a man when he's down. I'm feeling bad for you. So
the interesting thing is, whenever I am here, they never bring a Manchester United fan to talk to me.
It is very deliberate.
It's very deliberate.
It's very deliberate.
Ayo doesn't want to be on the same podcast with me.
All the Manchester and Ayo are on the same podcast.
Long time. I mean, Ayo has popped in when I'm here, but it doesn't come when they usually bring me in when Manchester United is playing. They want to know how the seasons are going. They just say there is no rivalry, but it's always good to be here.
Okay, let's start with Okechukwu. Okay said, I'm so annoyed at United today. This is not a confidence problem. I think what he's saying is, Amorim out. Aya said, welcome. I can't imagine United fans ducked smoke. And Okechukwu said, top club. I don't know if he is saying Newcastle is not a top club, we're not going to call Newcastle a top club on the back of this season just yet. I think let's be fair.
In 3 seasons,
I really think he meant that United is not a top club. I don't think he meant sentence.
Hopefully nobody's insinuating that. Everybody knows that United overachieved last season, coming 7th.
I was like, what did they finish last season? Okay. Akinola said, hello, y'all, here for the smoke. He's also a United fan. Okay, so I think my favorite goal of today was the Harvey Barnes goal. That's the one that I think he took so well.
Which one of them?
It was the third goal. Yeah, I think he scored the second and the third. Right? Is that right? But yes.
I believe so too. Yeah.
So I mean, like he said, I think Newcastle does play United well. Obviously, Arsenal, when you do the small shade on Arsenal, we haven't scored against Newcastle in 90 times 3 minutes. That's what's that? 270 minutes. And we have one more game left. I'm petrified about how that will go. I think it could go either way. And either way usually means in their favor, but we're at home, so we'll see. And this idea that they're gunning for second place, I don't think it's unrealistic. We're seeing Nottingham Forest lost yesterday, I believe. We drew. City won, but then they're a point behind Newcastle. Newcastle has a game in hand. Chelsea drew today, which we'll get to. I think 2 through 5 is up for grabs. Where we have a clear lead, but it's not significant. It's 6 points ahead of Nottingham Forest. So
what I'll say is this: if Newcastle wins their game in hand on Wednesday against Crystal Palace, they are 4 points behind Arsenal.
yes,
And we still have to play Arsenal one more time.
yes.
And I think I'm going to be frank with you. I don't think we're going to win that game.
Okay.
But it's going to be interesting to see. It depends on whether. I mean, the problem I see with Arsenal is that they've given up on the season.
Yes.
They're focusing on the Champions League, and I was very impressed with the way they played against Madrid. And hopefully, you guys make a significant dent in that competition. But it's going to be interesting to see. I think that Nottingham Forest is the riskiest of all the teams of getting out of that top 5, and it will be such a disappointing end to the season. There's not much I can really say about this Newcastle game today because Newcastle just played their normal game. They didn't do anything exceptional. They capitalized on the mistakes that Manchester United fans made, and the Manchester United fans who are playing football made, and we just beat them relatively easily. It's not an indication of where we are, honestly.
Okay.
I think that the game on Wednesday is going to be a tougher game for us against Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I think you guys play. I see Newcastle as a team that's gingered I wrote in the group, when you come across the traditional top 6. And I include Manchester United, Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, City, and Liverpool as the traditional top 6. You guys always show up, whatever it is. Crystal Palace, the other teams, you could lose the game there. You could draw it. Yeah. But like the dominance you displayed against us 3 times, the dominance, the way you took the game to Liverpool, even your draw against Liverpool could have been a win, when you played them in the league. So things like that we see, even going back seasons, has always been a little bit tricky with those. I think it's like a reputation thing. It's like street cred things. That's why nobody likes y'all. But we also use you guys to help. Like those of us that are fans are anti the other teams. Like if you notice, like when Newcastle was playing Liverpool at Carabao Cup, we all became, because we knew it was possible that they could take out Liverpool. We knew that was we all like rooted. I would say most of us were rooting for Newcastle. But we know when they play against us, like they kicked us out handily. So you're one of those teams. That's why I don't think you beat us to second place. I think the other teams will keep you in check. And also, I guess we'll get there. I just think that Arsenal does not need to finish second. I don't think we'll finish 6th, is my point. No. So we just need, like, what's the difference between 2nd and 6th at this point? And 5th. Yeah.
I'll say this as my last point about this game. I think I know the last time we came, we were talking about the best players in the Premier League, and we're doing the Premier League top 11. And one of the things I was talking about was the effect of Tonali on Newcastle. And I think that Tonali's importance has grown with every single game. I think that the thing that impressed me the most was like in the 89th minute when I'll give you one example. In the 89th minute, when he ran from the post and he ran all the way to the corner with the ball at top speed, even beating defender, that was impressive. But also when Dallo was running into the box, and Tonali was the player that chased him all the way back and chased him till he fell down. His level of energy is incredible. I don't think there's any player that has that particular problem. I was listening to Roy Keane after the game, and he was talking about how Manchester United players don't run. Even if they can run, they don't run. And in that situation, to have somebody like Tonali who can bust a gut in every direction is incredible for Newcastle. So,
Nice.
yeah, the game didn't tell us much, but I think I really appreciated how the Newcastle players played.
Okay, good. Let me wrap up some of these other comments. Okay, said no, Newcastle are not a top club. Sure.
Okay, it's delusional. Coming from a United fan. Okay, is just lashing out at this point.
This is okay. I mean, I don't know. We have to define top club.
No, okay, is lashing. No, okay, is lashing out. Let's leave. Okay, is getting his pound of flesh.
Raji, off your mic, I beg. You don't do. Okay. And then Aya said, United are on the beach in the EPL. Very obvious. It's all eggs in Europa basket. Absolutely. And we're gonna break that basket midweek on Thursday.
They have a good chance against Lyon.
They do, but Lyon's gonna have something for you guys.
But the thing about it is, the question becomes, I think the big problem that I have right now is that the coach is so, and there's no United player to talk about this. Amorim is so strict about this formula he has. And it was interesting the first few weeks when he joined, but as the season has drawn on, it's like you can see the same mistakes every single game, forcing players who don't fit a particular role to play a role, and they get caught out. It's unfortunate, but I feel like Amorim has to take some blame in this. This tactic works very well in Europe, right? It works fine in Europe, where they're playing against of European teams that give a lot of opportunities to Manchester United, give them their ability to play the ball. But in the Premiership, where everything is like physical speed, this kind of tactic, you're open to a lot of counterattacks. And how did Newcastle beat them today? Mistakes, counter, score. All right. That's all I have to say.
Good. We'll see what happens. We have only a few more weeks to the end of the season. All right. We'll move on to what is the minimum expectation for Maresca come end of the season? Idris, this is all you. You guys drew today. What do you guys expect from your club, your team, your coach?
Honestly, nothing. To be honest with you guys, I'm not even trying to be a troll. I have more to say about United than I have to say about Chelsea. So it's like let me answer that question. We're touching on the United situation, and I'll come into Chelsea. United is going through a significant change, and I'm glad we get to experience it in our time to understand what it takes to pivot maybe an organization or people, because it's very easy for us armchair analysts to just sit down and criticize and say, oh, the guy's cutting lunches in the cafeteria, the guy is restructuring. And I did watch one of Ineos chairman Jim Ratcliffe's interview, and he gave me such an insight to what he was dealing with as a person who's got vested interest in this club and is trying to take it over for passion reason. Let's not talk about passion reason. And it sounds like the amount of restructuring, maybe due to the situation they find themselves financially, is going to take some time. That being said, we've seen how United went from Jose Mourinho all the way to where they are today, right? And we know how we as fans made fun of Jose Mourinho and said, a multiple-time Champions League winning coach, Premiership winning coach.
Multiple.
This guy is probably going to be ranked one of the greatest coaches of our time. And yet we were here joking about, I think the only people that were going to bat for Mourinho were Chelsea fans that were just like, we love the toxicity. And United fans were not willing to hear the truth about the club. I'm mentioning key things because it's very associated to where Chelsea is today. And when you look at comparable models that might be working and they've just cut their coach according to their size, e.g., Don Rajan's team in Newcastle, the way they've got into this money, these new owners, but the way the owners have strategically moved insecure. They could have gone for any top coach in the world. They stuck with what's his name? How, right? And they strategically made sure it was okay. There are times when we always thought his jobs, he was on the rope, but they just strategically, hung tight with him. We can make fun of like, oh, Pep gets billions of dollars blank checks signed by the Etihad family and all these guys. Well, look at the way they've done it strategically, constantly, that they were even running profits. It's just nuts to me because the stereotype was these owners just blow money, these owners just do this, the owners just do that. But look at the way they've run it. Now let's come to Chelsea. That has something very similar to what United is. Forgive me, the American way of doing things, right? Everybody will say, oh, you just that's a broad brush. What are you talking about? Yada, yada, yada. Okay, aside Liverpool, which is unique, very unique situation. We don't really have many American owners that many of us can be like, these guys are doing well. The stereotype is they come in here, they do it for profit, they dump and they go.
Yeah.
Or they put you in the situation United is in right now. And then they get an ideological crazy culture. They're just ignorant and they don't know what's really going on about the sport.
Yeah.
And then when somebody comes in who knows about the sport, wants to pivot, they realize how far bad they've gone in terms of how to pivot. So that brings me to Chelsea now, where they bought a club. There is no debt. Now, Dada will want to hang me for this and say, what do you mean there's no debt? There was no debt. Do you get? And then we went bonkers and signed all these players. What do we have to show for it? You asked me, where does Maresca got it wrong? First and foremost, he's naive. The coach is naive. This is his first full season at this level.
I thought he was Leicester's coach.
In championship.
Oh, okay. True.
Like, in championship. And I think he only did that for 1 or 2 years too. Let's be honest about the situation. Right? And then I don't understand the whole concept of just flooding managers with so many players that even experienced players and experienced professionals were saying it's chaotic. Do you know what I mean? From the former Brighton manager, the Harry Potter guy, Graham Potter, right? To even Lampard has been in Chelsea and said it was just a lot of people. And we're talking about professionals that have been in sports all their life and saying this thing is chaotic. And still we haven't pivoted. We haven't changed on how we're doing things. And then you spent close to billions of dollars and you come and tell us, oh, we need to sell a player before we buy another player. Are you mad? Why? And then every year we sign another 14-year-old kindergarten guy. Like, it's just so much chaos that I want to blame Maresca, but I also feel like he's being hampered. Does it make sense? Like, it's kind of like crazy. But we've seen this play as I started this rant. United has gone through this crap. We've seen it. It's not working. I don't know what you guys are doing that you're trying to pee, whatever. That's why I named myself Pure Water Company, Clear Lake. Pure water. There's nothing. I'm not doing anything that is making sense in this place. Like, what are we doing? And if we're going to make top 4, top 5, it's because other teams are struggling. That's the fact. That's the truth. The quality of soccer has dropped so significantly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I don't know what to blame Maresca for other than the guy. We are calling him Nepa. The guy inverts everything. He inverts left-wing players. He inverts midfielders. He inverts attackers. He inverts. Like, everything is just inverted. We don't understand why we're doing inverters anymore. Like, it's making no damn sense. Do you understand? So, again, I hate the Taliban kind of football. I hate ideological coaches. I freaking wish like they lose their jobs. I pray they relegate teams. I despise people who can't go into a chess game or football game, a polo match, and rethink the moment it's not working. Let's, as a team, figure out how to survive. So for me, it's really a problem. That's the state of football and the state of ownership is right now. So for my club, Chelsea, I think we're winging it, man. I really do. And I think Newcastle has a much better long-term sustainability model and an infinite amount of money. Once they start ticking up and they can justify spending, jeez, man, I don't know. We will never be close to where Newcastle is going.
So that's all this said, Maresca, at the end of the season, is there anything he can do to? I'm sorry.
There's nothing he can do. He'll still be there. There's nothing we can do.
Oh, he'll still be there.
He's a company man.
Interesting. You don't think they'll sack him?
No.
If he doesn't finish top 5,
they will not. For them to sack Maresca, right? Maresca fell out of. Assuming Maresca does not finish top 5 in the Champions League.
Yes.
And then Maresca does not get any form of European football, so we fall out of. We don't win the Conference League. So now there's no European football. And
if
then that
you
means
finish top 8, you go to Conference League again.
that's the thing. I'm trying to see if it just falls out completely.
Okay, that's not
right.
possible.
No, you see, that's the thing, right?
Okay.
Because if it doesn't get any form of Europe, it means they don't have any attractive way of bringing in what's it called, sponsors.
Yeah.
Now, if they don't, that now hits them exactly where it's actually important, the bottom line. So if they're going to be running deficit, they have no other European champion, then maybe at that moment they might panic and say they want to change the coach. But if this guy still keeps them somewhere anywhere near Europe, they will justify the rubbish.
Interesting.
That's the problem.
So what's the difference between this season and when you guys sacked Pochettino?
Actually, last season was much better because all the players have regressed this season.
Okay. Last season, when did y'all finish? What position did you finish?
Seventh. We finished seventh.
Okay.
And it was also because many of, again, they say you never appreciate who you are with until you lose the person, right? When Poch was here, we were hitting on him that he's a Tottenham, sloppy seconds, the hand-me-downs. Poch knew there was an issue, and Poch was trying to fix the issue. And apparently we found out from leaks or unverified stories that the issues regarding Chelsea were very close if we did it right. We needed a new solid goalie. We needed a solid centre-back, an experienced centre-back, maybe a non-injury-prone midfielder because we got rid of Kante. We can just have that.
Okay.
Or if we skip the midfield, just get a potent striker. Just get the striker and just get it over with. Like, don't be like, I need him to be, underage, 21. Like, nobody cares. Just, I'm sorry, that's what we call ourselves now at Chelsea. Kindergarten FC. Like, we just have all this. It was like you could see the spine would grow, right? But we didn't do that. We have textbook so-called directors. I cannot remember who I was watching. It was Harry Redknapp. Harry Redknapp said he had conversations with all these FIFA playing textbook analysts that are now becoming director of football. And they literally have no connection with what's happening on the pitch and the stats that they're claiming to be collating.
Wow.
So that's where Chelsea is now. We're just in data comatose. We're in bullshit data mode. Everybody's like, I got data, but your data is not making any sense. That's where we are right now.
So you're arguing that it's the recruitment that's the problem.
And it's not just we are recruiting, bro. But what are we recruiting? United has a recruit. United could also say they have a recruitment problem, but they're not recruiting in United because they don't have the leeway to go crazy as they've done before. You know what I mean? Brighton could also say they have a recruitment restraint, but somehow they post profit and always churn out top of players. You understand where I'm coming from? Even you guys can claim, Raji, that you might have some constraints on spending because your owners don't want to overspend and get you guys into an FPP situation. So again, is that a recruitment problem? It's just different types of recruitment problems I just mentioned. Same word, right?
Yeah.
I will say this. I think there are a couple of points that I want to make about the American owner stuff. I think there are lots of clubs in the Premiership now that are owned by Americans. So I don't entirely think that the American argument is a stereotype. It's an inaccurate stereotype. You have teams that are successful under American ownership: Arsenal, Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Liverpool, Wrexham, Everton. Well, Everton is not one of them, but Fulham is doing well. You have a lot of teams who have American ownership who are doing well. I think the problem also is that the teams that are not doing well are the ones that make the most noise. And the teams that are not satisfied are the ones that make the noise, like Arsenal. They don't know their place. And Manchester United. So
that was unnecessary, Raji. That was unnecessary.
I'm joking.
I feel like we've not complained about owners in 2 years.
I'm just looking for trouble.
No, but there's also the fear, Raji, of they're just profit driven. In as much as you want to Liverpool. Say that, like you've Liverpool have had this argument. A lot of Liverpool fans have really been like, guys, we want you to do this, we want you to do that.
Yeah.
Now, maybe I think the stereotype is also brought out of the way Americans treat sports.
Yes.
Do you get me, right? The bizarre part of
before we go into that, I'll say this: the PIF. Michael just sent me a message saying that he just tuned in and heard me say shit about Arsenal. It's fine. I was joking. The point I was trying to make is this: the PIF rules that they brought in has made it important for clubs to maintain a profit. So if there are sustainability rules that are going to hamper your ability to spend, being able to make a profit becomes important for your club to be able to sustain their position. So I think that the rules of the game right now, you may say it's an American thing, but the people that own Brighton are not Americans, and they are playing in the
What of
PIF games very
what
well.
of if the PIF from a different perspective is brought in so that clubs do not go delinquent? So I mean,
Okay.
they don't, like let's be honest, right? You look at it from, I mean, still saying you're not wrong, boo, but you see where I'm coming from. A club doesn't run itself into trouble because it's trying to keep up with the Joneses. Now you're looking at it from, oh, but the club has to make profit just to keep up with the Joneses. But what if it's just that, like, even if I have $50, just stay there, participate, go home? Do you understand? So,
But the PIF rules don't mean that your club has to make profit. They just have to not make a loss at a certain level.
there you go.
So it's not even a question of profit. They just need you to be able to sustain growth. And the way Newcastle was handling it was not buying anybody for 3 years, which is not a good idea. I think we're just lucky that the people that we got at the time have a strong spine. They just needed some time to grow. We might see some situations next season when we actually spend money, but I don't think that Newcastle's solution the last few seasons was the right one too, where we did not buy any player.
Why not?
I think because we don't have the ability to freshen up the squad. Bringing in new
they did
players
fine last season. What did you finish last season? There was like they went to Champions League, and now they're coming back up. It's kind of like
we got to look for where you guys are coming from.
I mean, they came from far, but
yes,
they were
we came from
2
far.
seasons ago. They're flying.
Don't forget that at the beginning of this season,
How fine were they? You mean
at the beginning of this season, there was a lot of fighting behind the scenes between Newcastle and Paul Mitchell, the recruitment officer, because we were not even able to get the defender from Crystal Palace, Gehi, into the club. We're not able to get anybody. We were fighting with Chelsea at the beginning of the season for the Nigerian centre back. We were not able to get anyone. Throughout the whole summer, we could not find anyone.
Well, you guys are dealing with, you were in a situation where you had some very decent players. You had to keep those players. You have to keep those players to maintain where you guys are at. And then you kind of also want to spend, but to be able to spend, you need to kind of maintain that part that you're at. Except you're good at what Brighton is doing, which not many people can do that. So for me, I kind of felt that like you're not spending. And again, it's kind of like, which angle are you looking at it from? You see where I'm coming from, right, guys? Like, it's kind of like I have the opportunity to do bigger things, but I'm really worried that if I do it now, I'll hamper us down the line because I can thread water versus, like I don't have access to do the things I want to do. Arsenal owners are saying they can't overspend because they just don't have money coming in. You get United is in a place now telling you that like we heard that we are running out of money. So all that money we spent, we are paying for it. Newcastle's like, I have money, but if I spend this money, do you understand? I'm going to put us in a situation where it might not bode well for us. So it's kind of like two different. Chelsea's like, I have money, I will spend it, then I'll now come back and figure out how to financially re-engineer it till I get busted.
What I'll argue against that is that at the very beginning of the season, when you look at how Newcastle was trying to get the money right, because we would have either been deducted 10 points or we would have had to sell players like Isak.
You see?
Yeah, so we were just lucky that somebody wanted to buy some of our players. We needed a right wing at the beginning of the season. We got this right wing guy that we had loaned to I forgot the Dutch team, who is now playing for Brighton. We got to sell our young prime midfielder to Nottingham, and it's one of the reasons why Nottingham is playing so well this season. So we lost depth at Newcastle, and the only reason why we are doing so well is because of Eddie Howe. Don't forget, at the beginning of the season, we weren't doing well. This is just the only reason why we're in this position is because of the tactical nuance of Eddie Howe, not because Newcastle were in a financially strong position or we did a good job with recruitment. This is just Eddie Howe.
You're not wrong, Raji.
Let me pause you guys real quick so I can take some of these comments before we get too far. Oh, we did that one. Ipswich getting 4 more points from Chelsea's nasty work. I guess they
I
beat you
will
on the...
address that. I will address that.
I just said I disagree. A top 5 where he gets the boot. He's talking about Maresca. The atmosphere will be too toxic. Does Chelsea have atmosphere anymore? You guys used to be on the same page. What you're saying right now about him staying, I don't believe. Benny said something different last week. In fact, Benny said he didn't want him to win Conference League because
that's so. No, Benny is also on the school of thought of we know what drives the club.
Mm-hmm.
It's finances and money, right? So if he still ends up, remember, it's a company man. Again, they got their right company man that will say, do, ostracize players, welcome players back, no shame. They got their guy that has no shame. He will do what they want to keep it moving. That's just the fact. The difference with Poch is a football guy. Poch just thinks, this is crap now. Like, why am I unsettling a player that I'm going to invest time in when it benefits everybody? And why are you buying this guy? I don't need this other guy. Yes. They didn't like that. So they went with their guy. Hence, I'm saying, as long as your racket is working, these guys will not make the needful change to fire the manager. Things have to be really, really bad, like people chasing them down, they did like 2-3 months ago. The guy ran into his car.
What I'll say is this about that particular point. After the game today, Maresca was talking about how there was a lot of angst in the crowd, and the crowd was not doing a good job of supporting the players, and they needed the crowd. And I think that is an indication that they could be losing the Chelsea fans. It's his fault. It's his fault. So I'm not really sure you can keep it.
Yeah, match-going fans are actually reacting. They're fully aware of it, right? But there's this politics. Chelsea has been doing, again, it's an American savvy thing, man. Chelsea has been doing a lot of propaganda to calm the waters with international fans where the money's coming from. But when there's anything that has to do with shaking the crowd and stuff, they find a way to douse it down by throwing all this. We're linked to this person, we are linked to that person. And a lot of Chelsea podcasters notice it. They call it, there's a word for it that they've been using, but it's along the line of Propaganda FC. What they're doing is they're throwing all the news feed from the club just to calm people down. But they realize like fans realize nothing will change. It's just period.
Wow. And then I said Chelsea finished 6th last season. You Newcastle guys should have taken Liverpool's money for Anthony Gordon. That's all.
But that will set them back now. That will set them back on the pitch. That will set them back.
Leave him alone. He wants to send us 75 million for Isak.
We will give you 90.
Chelsea said they are female.
Better bring 200.
We'll give you 90 and Havertz.
Start with 150.
Oh my gosh.
With Havertz, you are giving us an additional 60.
So you see what Ola just wrote right now.
Chelsea selling their female team to themselves for massively overestimated amount of money is top re-engineering, to be honest. Can't blame them for exploiting the loopholes. I respect the hustle. They did what?
Yeah. Yeah. They first came out with some rubbish. Then all of us are like, oh, we're talking about stadium. Then they realized what Abramovich was struggling with the stadium. Then later we heard our female team is for sale. All of us got mad. Then later we saw who they sold it to. And then we realized it's just a family member. Well, what are these guys doing? And this is the same reason we had issues that Manchester City is fighting in court. I don't like hypocrisy.
Gotcha.
I don't like hypocrisy. And I know Ola's supposed to be sometimes when I get very upset about this thing. And Chelsea, for someone like me, that I love some very good conspiracy theories. So allow me conspire a little bit. Most of us at Chelsea have two camps now. We have the Roman do or die camp because we just don't have to deal with this rubbish. And the weight was taken from him. And the double Western standard of what morality is being placed into sports regarding that situation, regardless of what you believe was right or wrong with whatever is going down there. But the way it impacted the sport and the way they try to play morals with the rubbish. And then we now see the American guys doing almost the same thing, or the Arab guys doing almost the same thing, and they have a different flavor. But somehow, somebody stole, oh, this person's kleptomanic, they got a problem. But another person steals, oh, he's a genius. He's financially re-engineering. Come off it, man. Like,
don't bring the Arabs into this because the Arabs have not done anything.
All right, I'm going to move on to the next topic. But I think, in summary, you're saying Maresca says, I think he'll leave if he doesn't finish.
I honestly think he's going to stay. I think there's a push for Champions League, and I think the push for Champions League is to make the fans happy, and I think the push for Champions League is to somehow help with the financial situation in terms of sponsorship. I personally don't. Yeah, I really don't think his job is hinged on it.
Okay.
I think that Chelsea is going to keep Maresca. I think Chelsea is going to make Champions League.
Yes.
They're probably going to finish 5th. And I think that Nottingham Forest is going to finish 7th. Or 6th or 7th.
I don't.
So you think Aston Villa will keep up their momentum? Aston Villa, basically, I guess we'll get to that topic. Let's hold off of that. Let's finish the next one. Is this Arsenal's year to finally win the UCL? What kind of topic is this? Who put this in here?
Are you guys mad? You should just avoid it, EJ. Rephrase that question because I
just comes and sets me up and says, EJ, host the podcast. Ask this question. What do you guys think? Let me ask you, Raji. What do you think?
Let's not. One of the things that I'm going to say is that I think that game on Wednesday was an incredible game of football to watch. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I think I watched the second goal that Declan Rice scored, and I sent a text to my brother going, why has it to be taking free kicks all season? What the hell is going on here? But then to make this jump to win the UCL, okay, is interesting. I'm not saying it's out of pocket, but I'm saying like if you guys faced PSG, which are fundamentally better, is a fundamentally better team with better wingers. I don't think they have a strong striker, but they do have better wingers who are scoring.
Yeah.
You might find a lot of problems there. So I think a team like PSG is a stronger bet to win the Champions League this season than Arsenal.
Okay. What about you, Idris? Okay, so let me say this: Arsenal, you say no that PSG overall. So even including Barcelona and maybe Inter Milan, I think. Because I think that's who may come out from that side. But even if you don't include Inter Milan, Bayern, you think PSG is the favorite among those 5?
I'm not writing off Real Madrid yet, too.
Real Madrid. Arsenal.
I'm not writing off Real Madrid yet. That team is crazy. Huh?
Who's that? Because there are 8 teams currently in the Champions League right now. Aston Villa. Yes.
Yes. Aston Villa is out. I think they're out. They can't beat PSG.
At home?
They can't beat them. I don't think they can.
Okay.
They are playing counter-attacking football. PSG has a 3-1 lead. And if PSG just sits back, absorbs the pressure, and then scores 1 goal, that's the end of the game.
And PSG is not going to sit back.
Yeah, they're not going to sit back.
But they're capable of. Their coach is that flexible. That's one thing I'm impressed.
But
I'm very impressed.
They don't have to.
No, they don't. You're not wrong. 100%. They don't have to. But the fact that they keep people, they have that in their pocket, as Raji just said, is an issue. Yeah. If they're an open team, obviously you'd be like, okay, if Good Evening does his regular knockout, because it's also Aston Villa has a very experienced coach. All they got to do is catch PSG on the counter twice, 2-0, problem.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're capable of doing it, but then we're talking about who are they going to do it to, right?
Yes,
we're talking about a PSG, and we're talking about a coach in PSG that has the capacity to adapt. So,
with a strong midfield that scores goals, it's
difficult.
A lot of
chances, though. That's my thing about PSG misses a lot of chances. They're terrifying, but they miss a lot of chances.
If they had a striker like Isak, and they bring 200 million.
No,
they can have him.
But that's another American club that spent too.
Which one?
Villa, right?
Oh yeah, Villa is an American club now.
Yeah, okay. Idris, what do you think? You said no. Who are your favorites then?
Oh, for the Champions League?
Yeah.
You know me, I should not be putting mouth in something that does not concern me because I'm in the third.
You guys will win that one.
No, I think
automatic entry into Europa.
Sorry?
If you win Conference League, do you get automatic entry into Europa?
I think so.
But you guys' goal is to obviously win Champions League, or get the top 5 positions, obviously. But yeah, okay.
It's our
Go on.
ultimate goal. We don't have goal. We're here to run profits. We're here to tell you how the markets are doing. We're here to tell you the Dow Jones is playing, JP Morgan this year. We're like 3 points up on the finances, and we're doing very well just beneath the FF. That's what Chelsea is doing. So any other thing you guys are talking about, we don't know. But in Champions League, yeah, I will not write off Madrid. But
You think Madrid will come back 3?
I didn't say come back. I said I will not write them off.
Yeah.
They have history of doing this, man.
Yeah,
they have history of doing this. They've beaten Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Yeah.
They've done it to Anderlecht. They've done this several times. They came from a 2-0 against Manchester City.
Yes.
And won them. They can do this. I think that Real Madrid stadium is going to be crazy.
There's so many. They said they're going to play an emotional video before the match. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Chill.
If they score if they score 1 goal in the first 10 minutes,
of which they can,
yeah, this game is over.
Again, this is like the PSG thing that you're talking about. We respect the fact that Arsenal, you guys bold, you guys actually came out, but we are also aware that the place you guys are going to, you guys can chop 5 like steady. Now do I think
now this is my thing. I don't believe we're taking 3 goals in. I haven't seen it happen this season. I mean, I guess if it was going to happen anywhere, it could happen at Madrid, but we're not conceding 3 goals. That's why I'm confident that we'll get out this time. Now,
are you a betting woman?
I don't bet.
I know you don't. That's why I asked you that
question. But regarding PSG, we already beat PSG 2-0 in Champions League. I know it was in the earlier stages, but that was in Champions League just this season. So I'm not as terrified of PSG as other people. In fact, I would prefer PSG to Aston Villa because I know Aston Villa will sit back against us and try and hit us on the counter. And we have just traditionally this season been horrible against teams that come to us with the low block. We just cannot break it. And so if I think Arsenal, our only path to the final is through PSG. And so if anyone's telling me that we can't do it, I think we can. We can beat PSG. Now, will we do it? Because PSG kind of picked up form in the middle of the Champions League season. So it was the PSG we played in the earlier stages, I think it was our second game, where it was like, honestly, if you go watch that match, you'd be like, is this the same PSG that played Liverpool, that played Villa this way, that you guys are predicting to win? But every time I hear Ayo said it here, he picked PSG. I don't know how since it started, but through the group stages, I didn't think that was the team to pick, So I think we have a chance to get to the final. Now, if you tell me we meet Barcelona in the final, it will be revenge because that's 2006 matchup that we lost. It'll be a revenge game and we should be up for it, but I don't know if we can do it because Barcelona is crazy right now. So that's the only thing like EJ's logical hat will tell you we're not going to win the Champions League because it will likely be against Barcelona and Barcelona will beat us. But I think we can get I see a path to the final through PSG. And we're not chopping those 3 goals at Bernabeu. Bookmark that. There's no way. I have to see that to believe it. I know we have. Look, now if they give them 2 penalties, I hold my hand up and say, okay, you got 2 penalties, you got 1 free kick. If they get that.
But it's also possible that you can give out like a careless penalty.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like if it's like carelessness that causes it, I can't account for carelessness. We concede 3 goals.
I think
you guys can't tell me this season that you've seen us. I can't even imagine it. The most goals we conceded is 2, and all of it has been to Newcastle.
To all due respect to Arsenal, though, I think it's just because it's Real Madrid, and it's also because it's Arteta.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like we know Real Madrid can do this, but with Arteta, we can do it. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Like really, what happens?
You didn't believe what you would see. I saw everybody that commented before the game didn't believe we're going to beat Real Madrid 3-0. No one believed that. And it was still like
So EJ, I have a question. If you guys rapidly somehow concede 2 goals or 3 goals in the first half, this game changes. So,
of course, I just saying
like
that's
significant. I'm not saying. I'm just because it's possible. We're talking about.
Have you heard of haram ball? Have you seen haram ball? When we went down 10 men to United City, and we did not leave our half. They were playing 10 versus 9.
I remember. But
We just concede one goal. We accept the one goal we
I
concede.
cannot believe Arsenal fans accepting around football after the same guys have dragged Chelsea for
We had
years
no choice.
over, and then they go to Champions League, they're like haram it all the way. I don't like
Because we respect Real Madrid. We respect them. We're like, we know what we're up against. We scored 3 goals and we're going to play. Play for what?
It's adaptability. It's what I respect. Somebody said, it's not the right way to play football. What do you mean it's the right way? There's no right way of doing anything. Just go there and grab the points.
You see what Real Madrid did last year against City? Real Madrid did not play against City. They sat back the whole time, and then they went to penalties. They didn't. That second game was horrible. Like City was complaining. They're like, that's not football. They're like, we learned it from Arsenal. they won penalties. The other one was hitting Panenka, whatever it was doing. Like City didn't play their penalties well. Real Madrid won the game on PKs. They did not come out of their half. They did what they needed to do. Now they have to come out and play. We will do what we need to do. We're not playing with y'all. We have 3 goals.
I expect you guys to go past that because I think Real Madrid already dropped the ball.
I'm going to be watching that game from start to finish. I don't
watch highlights.
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure that you guys are going to win. I think the thing I said during the game was that you needed 4 goals.
Okay.
To go into what do you call it, Real Madrid, Bernabeu, to go and play them. And the problem with Arsenal is a lot of the goals they score are based on set pieces, right? Yeah. It was corners at the beginning of the season. It was 2 magical goals from Declan Rice. And Real Madrid was playing a very weird tactic in that last game. I don't think they even got any real opportunity, any real chance to go forward in that game. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be the same this next game. I think the first 30 minutes is going to decide what kind of momentum is happening.
Yes.
If they can score a goal within 10 minutes, then they score a goal within the first 42 goals in 45 minutes. This game is Real Madrid's to win. I don't think Arsenal will be able to win in a situation like that. Okay. So
I will say this: the set piece goal and the last goal wasn't a set piece goal, but you guys have to remember that Courtois played outside of his mind. Like I know he considered those dead ball goals, but we had 13 shots on goal, 11 on target. He was saved. Like there are times where he was saving balls that he had no business saving. We could have scored from open play 5 times at home.
And how did you do this weekend? I do believe
that they'll play differently at home. I understand that. And you guys know Real Madrid is my second team.
How many shots on goal did you get against Brentford this weekend?
8.
It's a long fall from 21.
But we're playing part 2 now.
Inconsistency is too much.
I don't even know those players.
Okay, we'll see.
We don't have time for the league anymore.
I think Arsenal goes through. I think Arsenal goes through to PSG. I think Arsenal's toughest game might be PSG, and it'll be quite tactical. I don't see Arsenal getting past. Sorry, Raji. I don't see Arsenal getting past PSG. But if they do, I agree with you. EJ, the only thing holding you guys from the first European trophy is pretty much Barca. Should Barca somehow bottle it, which I don't know about this as a Flix Barca, I don't know how they're going to bottle it. But should they bottle it for some bizarre reason, or they have injuries or whatever, this might be your year. This might be your year.
One thing I'll say about this year, I mean, there's a horrible season for us, I would say, just on the balance of things, especially when you compare it to the 2 seasons in the past. But like, there's some moments I'll pick. Like, if I'm just going to be a person who picks moments, that I would say I appreciated the season 4, beating City and beating Real Madrid the way we did. I would say we did not like 5-2 against City when they used to thump us 5-1 every year. It's just like that was great. And then this one, that victory 3-0. Yeah.
Now, can I be honest with you? I don't think this season was a bad season for Arsenal. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think people are we are trolling Arsenal because obviously we want you guys to win and stuff like that. But the truth about the matter is Arsenal has done remarkably well, keeping consistency and chasing every potential established title winner. Liverpool, what's working for Liverpool this year? It no go happen next year. Let's not all deceive each other. It will not happen next year. Yeah. It will not happen next year. So they just didn't have a new manager bounce. They had a new organizational bounce. like it's not happening next year because new guy, new league. He comes in, didn't tweak much. He just maintained. You understand? So no, like it's a one-off, and I feel for Arsenal, but it's not happening next year.
One last point on Arsenal. I think I want to buttress the point you just made about Arsenal being consistent. I hear a lot of Arsenal fans going on and on about Arteta, and Arteta is one of the best things that have happened to Arsenal. I remember where Arsenal were. Well, I mean, since Homeboy left. I remember where Arsenal were left a few seasons ago. This guy, irrespective of who wins, you guys have been there or near the top. So it's consistently the case. I think, like you said, Liverpool is not going to enjoy this same incredible start next season. People will have found out, and there would be stronger teams that will be playing them next season too. So I don't think Liverpool will get a chance to win. Well, I don't know who wins,
Right.
but I'm 100% sure this season is not going to play out like next season is not going to play out like this season at all. So yeah,
all they just need is Mo Salah pulling hamstring. Game don't finish for them.
Yeah, no injuries. I mean, they had some injuries, but not to their key players.
Like
I am curious.
And his smug face, tired of getting doggied by Tom Tom.
I don't know who Tom Tom is.
I think it means Tom Tom the sweet Nigerian black and white stripe.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I can interpret that comment. I'm becoming something else because
it is. I mean, you are a writer, so it makes sense.
Tom Tom FC.
Tom Tom FC. Yeah, there you go. Chicken and chips.
Chicken and chips.
Oh my God. B-Tech Udinese. Wow, my goodness, he's really
angry. Even EJ,
my advice to Oga Kwame is therapy is not a bad idea. Therapy can help with the angst that you're feeling.
Absolutely.
Wait, you mean Oga Kwame's therapy?
Oga Kwame, of course.
Oh, Oga Kwame.
No, Oga Kwame is not having any therapy. See this mumu, what he said again. Idris, your federal heart. See, oh my God. He said Dickie testing gets oh my God. This guy.
Please stop saying Madrid is your second team. Mama, they hedge. Okay, you know what? I'm not supporting Real Madrid, obviously, in this situation. It's my second team, but they've won enough. They can rest this year. Please leave Mohala's hamstring alone by better people. Okay,
see, I'm not being a harsh person, but sometimes maybe the guy just pulls something and you can be fine after 3 games.
Of course.
Just hope.
Yeah. All right, let's do this real quick. Final top 5 predictions. All right, let's go. I just need numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who's number 1?
Raji, you want to go first?
Liverpool.
We can do it together. I think we know the answer.
Liverpool. Yeah.
Number 2.
Arsenal.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Newcastle.
Okay, you think Newcastle overtakes Nottingham Forest?
Yes.
I think that's possible. I never trusted Nottingham Forest. But
if we win the game on Wednesday, we'll be above them by 2 points.
Yes. Okay. How
many games in hand do you guys have? Sorry.
1.
Okay, yeah.
And we'll be 4 points from Arsenal.
Yeah. You're not coming players. We'll be shaking. Who's 4th?
4th?
Manchester City.
Manchester
City. I think City will get there. Who's 5th?
Chelsea.
Nottingham.
Okay, so you say Nottingham. You say Chelsea.
Yeah.
What about Aston Villa? No love for Aston Villa.
No, it's just because of where Aston Villa is right now. It's not
Aston Villa is 1 point behind you guys.
Oh, I say Chelsea.
Level on points.
No, we are level low. Me, I'm just saying. No. We are not in this conversation. Like I don't know. I'm not putting us in this conversation. It's Raj.
No, I think Chelsea is gonna get it.
Have you seen our next 5 guys?
I mean, everybody is playing difficult games.
Yeah.
Everybody's playing
have way
difficult
more
games.
Goal difference.
Wait. Well, let's see Newcastle's next games. Hold up. You said everybody's playing difficult games. No. Let's see Newcastle's next games.
We have to play Aston Villa.
Newcastle's playing Villa, Crystal Palace, Ipswich,
Chelsea.
Brighton. Chelsea comes in, of which even we go to Chelsea chats, they will tell you. Let me now go to Chelsea real quick. Sorry, guys. Just real quick back to Chelsea.
The final game for Chelsea is against Nottingham Forest.
That may be a top 5 battle.
That would be the worst situation.
We are giving out points. All that one that you guys are talking. You're talking as if Chelsea actually has sense. Hold on. So we are playing Fulham, which we can also go there and draw for no reason.
Yeah.
Everton, So Liverpool, Newcastle, United, and then Nottingham Forest. I don't see us. It's messy, is what I'm trying to say.
What
Compared to
about
what you guys do.
Nottingham Forest?
If Nottingham Forest plays the low block that they are very good at and playing counter, bro, we're not doing anything.
But they are playing. Okay, so that kind of game will work against a team like what do you call it? Tottenham. They're playing next, right? But that is not going to work against Brentford. It's not going to work against Crystal Palace. It's not going to work against West Ham. Well, it might work against West Ham. But how many games do you need to lose before you drop out? That stuff is very tight. I don't think
it is tight.
I don't think. And then the last game is against Chelsea.
But I feel their path to staying in top 4 and knocking out Chelsea is far more easier than the path for Chelsea. Because if they can recapture their form and just even stay, we're not even telling them to win everything. If they go and they lose to they're capable of beating Tottenham. They're capable of beating Leicester. They're capable of beating Crystal Palace. If they grab those 3, and they could drag it out to West Ham, and they're assuming they tie with Chelsea. Yeah. We're only talking about three wins, one what's it called? One tie. Like Chelsea's not beating.
But I'm going to tell you this: momentum is everything in this game. Momentum can take a team that is down and bring them all the way up. Was it not a team that was 12 points behind, the last in the table? Because of momentum, they ended up being 17th and they escaped relegation.
So whose momentum?
Fulham.
Crystal Palace. I don't remember.
Villa has momentum right now.
Oh yeah,
mad momentum right now. Okay. So, Newcastle's got mad momentum right now. Nottingham Forest, okay, fine, they've lost 2. So they were winning 3, they've lost last 2. Chelsea is stop start. There's no momentum. Mm-hmm. So that's my issue. The issue there is a game that we're supposed to win, we can tie the game.
But the thing we're talking about here is what happens against a team that has no momentum, Nottingham Forest, against a team that has inconsistent momentum. That's what we're talking about. Nottingham Forest, they've slowed down. All the chances they were getting at the beginning of the season, the teams are not giving them the opportunity again. Okay. Tottenham, maybe they will be able to beat them, but some of the teams they're going to play against do not give them that space, right?
Leicester City would. You just said Leicester City could give them the same chances. West Ham could give them the same chances.
But Leicester City is all the way down. All the way. Leicester City is not there. After, who did they play?
So their next game is Tottenham.
They're playing Liverpool.
Tottenham, Brentford, Crystal Palace. Well, they're going to play FA Cup with City, but that's. I don't see them. Like Chelsea is the one that's going to struggle out of Villa, Forest, and Chelsea. Those 3 that are supposed to like.
Aston Villa is playing Newcastle, which could be a very tricky game for both Newcastle or Aston Villa. Then they're playing Manchester City.
Ooh.
Then they are playing Fulham.
They're playing City in FA Cup.
Then they're playing Bournemouth. Then they may beat Spurs, but the final game is against Manchester United. I don't think I don't think it's as easy for them. And they're playing Champions League. They're playing FA Cup.
They'll be out by next week.
Yeah. I don't think it's the same, man. I don't think it's the same.
Let me take some comments real quick.
Yeah.
Ola said, this is from the last segment. He said, I don't see Madrid overturning the 3-goal deficit against Arsenal. Barca are favorites for now, in his opinion. Yes. It's going to be Liverpool, Arsenal, Newcastle, Man City, Forest. So he's co-signing Idris. He said that Forest will finish ahead of Chelsea and Villa. Chelsea, if you give us a respectful guard of honor, we will dash you 3 points. I'll think about that because we don't want to do the guard of honor. Apparently, we played them. There's a chance that I think, as you can see, my tag. Where'd my tags go? I say congrats to Liverpool. Hi guys, congratulations! You guys have won the title.
No, they've won as real champions.
Yes, absolutely. Forest is not finishing top 4. Everton was the beginning of their downward spiral. That's Oga Kwame. I think it's tricky. I don't think I know. I think I need more information. I think that 5th position. I do agree that Forest may fall, but that 5th position is up for grabs, and it will be Chelsea, Villa, or I just think Villa is the least likely to finish in top 5.
They have an experienced manager,
They do, but they
and they keep
just have
punching
such
above
a
their
poor
weight.
goal difference. I don't like it. You can't work. I mean,
The,
yes,
the issue why I'm this buoyant, I'm sorry for saying Chelsea is this, is there were a lot of games and opportunities we had to be in a better position to stumble into top 4 towards the end. You know what I mean? Right now, Chelsea has dropped points to relegated, like potentially relegated teams for no reason. You feel me? And I've watched the way our coach, who is naive, has set up. We're talking about Forest coach. I mean, we're talking when Nuno can play haram football. We're talking about those that birth haram football just to survive. He can. We're talking about good evening. He can. Like, we have a naive coach with very young players, and we don't know what they're going to do.
Obama. Is he fit?
My brother, you guys fit, Jerry. Let's.
If
It's
you
playing
look at how
it's playing like a 20-year-old. So let's just.
I'm going to tell you
You're
this.
only 22.
Let me tell you this about. Let me just say this real quick about Chelsea. Last season, they stumbled into sixth.
Yes.
Don't forget, 10 games before the end of the season, they were at 11th.
Yeah,
and they just kept winning. They just kept winning.
But that's not stumbling. No, we didn't. We went so it's not stumbling.
They were inconsistent. They were inconsistent earlier in the season.
You are not.
That's
wrong.
how they were 11th, and then somehow they found themselves ending up 6th. Newcastle was saying that they were going to be 6th or 5th last season. I remember that conversation, and somehow Chelsea finished above us.
But Chelsea had a ton of injuries last season. We were leading the injuries chart with a ridiculous.
Newcastle was leading the injuries chart
last season.
Yes, that homeboy broke his back. Isak was out for many games. Yeah, we had a lot of problems last season.
Yeah. I think we were one team that didn't really have as many injuries as these other teams out there last season. But the rest of y'all were very bad. Liverpool was horrible. And now we're suffering for it. Okay, we're going to move on. So top 5, we'll see what happens. I think next week we'll be able to say more, or over the next coming weeks.
For sure.
All right, last but not least, kudos and donkey of the week. Do you guys have anything anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Declan Rice for me.
I didn't even think about
Declan Rice. I think there was somebody who said, I was not in the UCL conversation when they were like, as a number 6, you're good, but as a number 8, you're world class. It's like, man. And I was like, man, all right, cool. But I would say that was a world class showing from Declan Rice last Wednesday. And he did an amazing job. So kudos to Arsenal, kudos to Declan Rice.
Yeah, I'll echo that. I think that was a special night in London. I know they all enjoyed it in the city. There was someone on Twitter that that doesn't watch football. She was like, I don't know what's going on, but all the men outside are happy. I'm like, what are we talking about? But it's London, and they were like, I think it changed the complexion of the city for one night. So that's great. All right, Idris, what do you have?
Same here, Arsenal.
Okay. Yeah. And then donkey, do we have a donkey?
For me, it's Postecoglou.
Okay, why?
Is the poster child for inflexible coaching. Even in situations where your team don't have the ability to do what you want them to do, he's unable to change the way the team plays to match the reality on the ground, which is the number one thing a coach should be able to do. So, yeah.
Okay. Idris, what about you, donkey?
I wouldn't say Postecoglou. I would just say, for me, Maresca.
Okay.
But he's same reason. He complains about low blocks. Then you find out that the way the team is set up is extremely slow build up. By the time the ball gets there, so the joke today in our game was somebody has already by the time the ball is coming from Chelsea's end to Jackson in front, people have already gone to make a bar. Then they've came back to their position to wait for Chelsea. So he's also, I wouldn't say he's as inflexible as Postecoglou, but from a setting up of team poorly, he's one of the poster childs for it. I don't. Maybe it's again, maybe naivety, maybe experience.
I think my donkey is it's Manchester United. I like to give them the donkey when they do nonsense. But I said kudos donkey. Yeah, Onana did play today, But
So there you go. I was about to go there. Can't be Onana. I mean, yes, he has his
we're
issues.
talking about what happened against Lyon.
Yeah, like no, it can't be Onana. Like, do you know how many mistakes you had to have made to give 3 clear goal scoring chances to a team? Like, you know what I mean? Like today, like I was watching it, I was just like, why are you forcing it? Like, why are you forcing it? Like, I've seen this happen when Chelsea hires coaches that are just dogged on, I want you to play from the back and stuff. And I love the fact that Raji also touched on that like very, if it's not working, it's not working. Don't play yourself into trouble.
Yep. But they all say everybody thinks it's Onana.
See, the problem is Manchester United fans, they use Onana as a scapegoat. Yep. I don't think that.
Those goals were horrible. Did you watch them?
I saw the goals. The first goal was horrible. The second goal, it was the first person to get the ball that determined. So there was a situation where, well, I mean, there is some blame, but the defenders did not do anything to stop the player from doing it. If Onana had let that ball go initially, it would have been one thing. But he stopped the ball. Right. He went too far forward. But nobody reacted faster than the Lyon player to get the ball. That's what happened.
You should be catching that.
That ball came fast.
Sure.
Anyway, they can use. I'm not here to give Manchester United any reason to continue to fight themselves. I love it.
Today.
Sonia, I'm going to say this one last thing too. Sonia Bonpastor got the Chelsea FC ladies into the FA Cup final. Okay. I thought that was also very good news. So,
our female department are doing what they should have been doing for the last 5 years.
I've been enjoying some female. Let me not use that word female. Some soccer. Some soccer. I've been enjoying some really good soccer from the women's league. It's been quite interesting. So yeah,
that's great.
By the way, I just want to point out there that like injury table 2023-2024, Chelsea was 43, Newcastle was 41.
Ooh, neck and neck.
So
United had most last year. I think they were 45. That's
what was Arsenal.
You guys last year, based on this BBC chat, you guys were 23. You were at the bottom.
We're good last year. We're enjoying. The only people that were injured were people that like Jesus.
Because I remember how bad our injuries were. It was like we were even calling them sick bay. If Reece James climbed the field, he's coming off again.
Yeah,
Fofana, all those guys. So,
I take my point back.
No, like we were really struggling. But this year we haven't had as bad.
Right.
And this is just tied to the point you made about we stumbling into top 4. We had a lot of injuries. We had a very extreme, choppy beginning of the season. But there was a point Pochettino got it right, and it was inversion of Cucurella and support of Caicedo in the middle. And then we just seemed to be able to hold off being dominated in the middle. And then we just went straight 10, as you said. And that got us to top 6. So here's the thing. Like, I don't see such happening. Is what the worry is. But I may be wrong. I may be wrong.
All right. We'll see. It's been a good discussion today. I thank you guys for joining us. And I hope your teams, I don't know what I wish you guys' team. Just don't overtake us. Because it sounds like Arsenal plans to draw their way to the final. Every last game. We have 13 draws. I've never seen anything like this. 13 draws in one season. Even in our worst season, we didn't draw 13 times. I don't know. But yeah.
Cautious. To be cautious.
I appreciate everyone's feedback except from Oga Kwame.
Oga Kwame, nobody likes you.
He can keep his thumb comments to himself.
Oga Kwame is the average United fan.
Like my problem with Oga Kwame is that these things come out from his head very quickly. To me, that's not normal. Like being able to come up with these things randomly, this name calling, like when do you?
Oga Kwame is struggling
with trauma.
At his trauma at his United home. You know when you say a kid acting at you, like what's happening at home? Oga Kwame is just dealing with United issues. That's his problem. And he's lashing out. Just right. Like Akinola, they're lashing out.
Yeah, 2 of them. All right.
Thank you very much. Bye.
All right, thank you very much. See you guys. Bye.
You're watching Footy Fantasy. It is sure say the thing go meet your football needs. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go see. It's footy fantasy, yeah, watching footy fantasy, footy fantasy. It is sure say the thing go meet your football need, your football need. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive, sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go